Hey, y'all, so I have to do it upright because I wanted to show you this beautiful balloon that was in the air today. Oh my God! I was so excited. There were actually two. There were two because when I left the park, one of my friends was coming in and he said, "Oh, there's another one." I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, but that one's colorful." The one that I showed. The other one is like a yellow with some other colors on it. It's kind of subtle pattern, but it's nice. Don't get me wrong. But this one was more colorful, and when I left the park, I saw the one that he was talking about that he said he saw because I didn't have a clue what he was talking about until I left. So when you look at ladies in particular, guys too, but especially ladies because we get into this little fantasy world of getting married and having kids, and that's not the best thing in the world to do, regardless of society pushing you to do it, your family pushing you to do it, your friends pushing you to do it. It's not the best thing in the world because if you choose the wrong person, you have just sealed your own fate and you are dancing with the devil, and it is the worst thing that you will ever experience in your life besides being the victim of a crime. And choosing the wrong person can cause you to be a victim of a crime as well. They can steal your identity, steal your money out of your bank account. I don't care if you're married to them. You cannot trust people. You just can't. So instead of falling into this ridiculous fantasy of getting married and having children, it's deeper than that. It's way deeper than that. You have to find the right person, okay? You have to, or they need to find you, but you have to take your time. You have to pay close attention to what you're dealing with. You just got to do it. Because if you stay stuck to the fantasy, you're going to stick it to yourself. And your life will be ruined. Your finances will be ruined. Your health will be ruined. Your psychological will be ruined. Your finances, everything about you will be destroyed because of a stupid fantasy. And if it happens on its own and you click with somebody and they're normal in the head, great. But I still would not rush into anything. You have to understand that when you're dealing with toxic people, and God knows they're every goddamn where. If you don't believe me, look at TikTok, look at YouTube, look at people strutting their stuff on the camera because they can't freaking stop looking at themselves on the camera, okay? Everybody's all worried about me, 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 me. And if you don't believe me, you still don't believe me. How many people can you count on one hand that would drop everything if you were in a crisis? If you got a handful of people, you're lucky as hell because that is not the way the world works. So if you got people that value you and you value them and y'all have each other's back through a crisis, no matter what it is, that's a good thing because it's rare. All right. So the only thing that we can do besides stick to a silly fantasy, the only thing, realistic thing that we can do is to give ourselves the love and the care that we deserve. That is what we have to do. We have to protect ourselves. We have to look out for ourselves. We have to, if you're in a crisis, the only problem is if you don't really have reliable people where you are. If you have to have surgery or something, you're going to be hosed because they don't let you go home by Uber or by Lyft or anything like that, or a cab. They will not permit you to go home after surgery. So if you don't have anybody reliable, I have no idea what you can do because you can't take public transportation. Um, I have dealt with sick and twisted people my entire life. The only person, one of the few people who is, you know, her heart was bigger than the sky. It wasn't a man, it was a woman, and that was my best friend. She was authentic, loving, kind, considerate, And I did have a crisis in front of her, and I had a severe allergic situation going on, and she made me get in the car. She wasn't going to do like Henderson and sit there with his thumb up his ass looking stupid, or anybody else, parents or whoever else I've known in my life. People that are in a crowd, you have an issue, they just sit there and don't say fuck all. They don't help you. They don't they just stare at you. I mean, I swear to God, people fucking pissed me the fuck off. She was so different and so loving and so caring. And it's such a nasty twist of fate that she was taken from me, because I have never, ever, ever met anyone like her before. Never. Never. I mean, I've had other super close friends, but she was in a world and a class of her own. And so far as men, fuck no. They're, like I said, they got tunnel vision. They got to get up in somebody's tunnel. Even if they're married, they're still looking for other people because they got needs. That's what the fuck your wife is for. Okay? But he already got her in love with him, so he's looking for new meat. It doesn't have nothing to do with desire. It has to do with feeding the ego, like I said before. And here's the thing, and this is how weird your brain goes because you've just dealt with so many toxic people your whole life. I saw a couple today, and I've seen a couple of lesbian couple. Well, no, well, okay. One was a lesbian couple, and one was a gay couple, and the gay couple was in therapy with Dr. Orna, Orna. And you learn a lot by watching her sessions with multiple couples, okay? And two of the gay couples, one of them, I don't remember their names. One of them, his family is useless. They're losers. So he's not used to having people love him and care about him and be there for him. So the problem with that is when you do get someone who cares, which is rare, but when you finally do get someone who cares and loves you, you feel insecure and you feel like, okay, well, that's great, but when are you going to leave me too? Okay. And it's exhausting for the person who loves their partner. I mean, they love each other, right? But the one that is giving love to the one who's not used to getting love because his family's losers. You know, you learn from when you're born that the people that love you are not reliable and love is not going to come easy for you. And you learn that from an early age because the people that are supposed to love you the most don't. Okay? Bear with me. So you learn from an early age that you're not, people just can't love you for whatever reason. They can't. And a lot of people are going through this, and it's sad, but that's just the way it is. People are greedy for what they can get from you. They're takers. Anyway, so in this couple, the gay couple, the guy whose family's losers and the other guy's tight with his family, and he loves his partner with everything he's got. And he told him, he said, I do, both gay couples, their partner said the same thing to their partner. I've always been there for you. And I do everything for you, like, not everything, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm there for you all the time. What more? I don't know what else I could do to make you happy. And with the person who was abandoned by their family, I feel that he could benefit from therapy by himself without his partner. Because the scars and the wounds that you get from your parents... I'm going to go in the other room because freaking people are loud as hell outside and they just don't give a shit. So I'm going to go in the other room. Bear with me. Oh, a lot quieter in here. Okay. Oh my God. When I was a kid, if I were to scream and yell like I was being killed, I'd get my ass beat so hard. You just didn't act like a wild animal. But nowadays, that's what people do. They allow their kids to scream and yell and act like wild animals, and It's all good. Fuck. If I would have did that, I wouldn't have an ass. I'd be beat so hard I couldn't lay down for a week. Anyway, but then again, my parents are crazy, so that's how that goes. Anyway, so he needs to go to counseling by himself because the wounds from being abandoned by your family are indescribable. My foot is killing me. God, I'm in so much pain. My foot. It takes 6 months to a year to completely heal from surgery, and I did a lot of walking the other day, and my foot is pissed. Holy crap! I have to take Tylenol. I cannot. I can't not do it. I can't. It's killing me. My foot is so killing me. Okay, so I'm gonna try to concentrate. Anyway, so he needs to go to therapy on his own because that is a lifelong wound. That is lifelong mental pain, psychological anguish that he will have until he dies. Therapy can definitely buffer that and make it not as sharp of a sting, but you will always feel the discomfort of that until you die. And because if your parents are losers, they've isolated you from your entire family to make sure that you have no support and no one to love you. Because they don't even know you because the parents make sure that they don't get an opportunity to love you. So it's disgusting, and unfortunately, that's the way it is. Like I said, there's no criteria for being a parent, just two horny people, and that's all it takes. There's no criteria. There's no tests that they have to take before they can have a kid. Any two dummies can have a kid, okay? Two mentally ill people can have, anybody with parts that fit together can have kids. That's the only requirement for being a parent, like I've said before. So it's exhausting for his partner to constantly, I've always had your back. I've always had your back. I don't know what more you want me to do. I've been there through the worst and the best, and you're still distrustful, and I don't know what else you want. And it's depressing for the person who loves, they love each other, don't get me wrong, but the one person obviously is having a problem because his how he grew up, okay? And he needs to go to comprehensive therapy by himself without his partner, and he needs to learn to trust that yes, your partner loves you. Yes, your partner has proven it over and over and over again, and you're still going, yeah, but there is no but. The person is still there. Okay? They're still there, And another couple, let me think, the other couple, the gay couple, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. If I remember, I'll talk about it. But if you do get someone in your corner and they've proven time and time and time again, I got your back, I got your back, I got your back. I don't know what else you want me to do. I've got your back. They cannot keep proving to yourself over and over to you over and over and over again because it's really exasperating for them. It's really frustrating for them. And depressing for them because they're like, what else do you want me to do to prove that I care about you? You want me to stand on my head and spin around, balancing on my head? I mean, I don't understand what else you want me to do. So it's really frustrating, and it's super important to go to comprehensive counseling if you are fortunate enough to have a partner that cares about you. I saw a gay couple today, and you got to understand why I feel the way I do because of how I've been treated my entire life. So I'm used to being on my own. I'm used to taking care of myself by myself. I'm used to it. And then now I have someone who used to be really super reliable and still is to a point, but he is so obsessed with this girl, and he's not even doing her. So you can't say he's, matized, because he ain't ever. But if she tells him to jump up in the air and bark like a seal and balance a ball on his nose, by God, he will do it. And he's the type of person who's arrogant. He's the type of person who says, nobody gonna tell me what to do. I do what I want to do. I've always been that way, and I'll always be that way. And that's a load of bullshit. Let the right woman come along who's got some serious issues. If she's got real mental issues, he glues himself to her so hard, even if they're not physical with each other, he will become obsessed with her. He will put something in the oven. He will forget it's in the oven because she called him. And I've seen him do it. Thank God I had enough sense to turn the damn oven off, because I'm not going to complete the project you started because you can't freaking do it because your queen called. Okay? Queen of the universe. And he just gravitates towards dysfunctional women. And it doesn't matter how much sense you talking to him. Honey, 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 you're barking up the wrong tree. He is obsessed with her. But he was obsessed with his previous woman that they were together for 20 years. And, you know, she would get a restraining order on him, and then they would deliberately go where each other is at, and she would go sneak off into the women's restroom with some guy just to make him jealous, and all this other stupid shit, driving down the road like Dukes of Hazzard. He's chasing her in his car, and I mean, it was just complete madness, and he was drawn to that like a moth to a flame for 20 years. So your brain gets used to dysfunction. It starts to get attracted to that. It gets drawn to it. Your brain glues you to that circumstance. And you will kiss that person's sweaty ass feet. You will lick their feet if they run a 10-mile marathon or whatever they did. They ran around the block 100 times. You will lick the sweat off their feet because something is wrong with them, and you connect to that, which tells me you should be in therapy based on that alone. He grew up with dysfunction. His brother was a drug head. All of them had issues, every single last one of them. So, if you grow up with wackadooness, you get drawn to that, and you're attracted to people who are just like that, broken. And that's an addiction. Addictions are not healthy. If you're addicted to sick people because you grew up with sick people, you've got a sickness too. He's so glued to her. Good God. He's going to set his house on fire one day because he's going to put something in the oven, completely forget about it, and burn the shit out of it, burn his house down, and he'll die because he cannot get out of her ass. And I told him that. I said, you talk a lot of shit about how nobody's going to tell you what to do, how, when, and why. But then when a woman comes along and she's dysfunctional, you will do anything in the world for her, and you will drop everything. So you're sitting here saying that nobody telling me what to do. But if someone dysfunctional comes along who's a woman, you're so all over that. And she could tell you to jump up in the air and sing Dixie, and you will freaking do it. She could tell you to do an aerial, and you will do it. With no training, your ass will get out there and damn do it. She has his balls in a vice grip. I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. And I told him, you can't think straight when you stopped talking to her, y'all kind of drifted apart for a minute. You acted normal. And since you guys have recently reconnected, your brain is not working. Okay? He's forgetful anyway. And he's 1,000% more forgetful because when she's around, he cannot think straight. He has left his keys in St. Louis. He lives in Columbia, Missouri. He left his goddamn keys in a safe in St. Louis in a hotel. He left his wallet down there. He left his goddamn debit card down there. He left his debit card down there recently. He can't fucking think straight. Ever since he been talking back with her. And he blames it on, I got a heart condition. A heart condition may... According to him, his doctor said you can have memory issues if you have a cardiac issue. But when he gets to sniffing up her butt, he cannot blink without hearing her voice. God, I don't want nobody that glued to me. Oh God, I had a previous friend like that. He had pictures of me everywhere, all over his computer, it was like a shrine, and that is not flattery. That is creepy as hell. And I said, you don't, I was on his wallpaper, on his phone, wallpaper on his computer. I said, if something ever happens to me, they're coming for you first. You realize that, right? This starts to look a little creepy after a while. I don't want my picture everywhere. It was almost like a shrine of me. I'm not kidding. It was weird. Oh my God. There's nothing flattery about that. I'm telling you. No, 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 no. That's, no, no. Anyway, so I saw a lesbian couple today, and I'm used to people not giving a fuck. No matter what happens to me, if I have surgery, I fall down, I break a leg, whatever. Just nobody gives a fuck. Okay, there's only one person, and he's so glued up this girl's ass he can't see straight. So I really don't have him anymore until they break off again. Which, oh God, he's surgically addicted to her, and she's not even interested in him, and he knows that, and he's still attached to her, and he can't function. Anyway, the gay couple today, the lesbian couple I saw today, they came to the park, but one of them left because she just had brain surgery and her recovery is going well, but she's still dizzy and she still feels lightheaded and she's still recovering. She just had surgery not long ago. And her wife said, because they're married, her wife said, are you okay to walk? Are you going to be okay? I mean, are you still feeling dizzy or what? And she's like, no, I think I'm okay. And she's like, okay. And her partner kept eye contact with her, like, are you sure you're okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, seeing a partner care about their partner was weird to me. Don't get me wrong. This is what you're supposed to do. But it was weird to me because I've never experienced that. Never in my goddamn life have I ever, except for Gail. My bad. Except for Gail. I've never experienced someone giving a shit. Nope, 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 and nope. 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 Only Gail. And no so-called partner has ever given a shit about me either. Oh, they'll fake it sometimes. And most of them are too lazy to even do that. So the bottom line is you have to stop focusing on other people and relying on them to make you happy. The only time you're going to be in a major crisis if you don't have anyone is, like I said, you had surgery. They're not going to release you. They're not going to release you, period. You have to have a ride. And you cannot have an Uber, a Lyft, or a cab because the hospital feels responsible for you. So someone has to physically come and get you. And you don't want to pay a stranger to come get you and they know where you live now. Okay. So you don't want to do that out of desperation because the hospital won't release you. Okay. You're just pretty much fucked. If you don't have anybody, you're fucked. You're going to have to spend the night in the hospital or something. I don't know. Or spend the night in the recovery room. I don't know how that's going to work. Insurance may not cover that because you don't got to ride home. They may not cover that. I don't know, but it's going to be a seriously difficult situation. They will not release you for liability purposes. Okay. You're under the influence of anesthesia. They're not going to just, they're not going to release you, period. So if you don't have anyone, you're fucked. But yeah, I felt a twinge of weirdness when her partner was concerned because Gail was the only one who would care. She made sure I went to the hospital. And I argued. I said, I'm not going. She said, yes, you are. Get in the car. In other words, it's not up for discussion. I'm not asking you, do you want to go to the hospital? I am telling you. No one else has given a shit to the point where they would do that. No one. Nobody. Not a one. Okay? I had some little narcissistic fucker that I met on a so-called dating site. We were seeing each other for about 9 months, and then because he was trying to dominate my situation with my doctor, which I'm not going to allow you to do that. I wouldn't tell him who my surgeon was, and he's like, I'll find out who she is. She's the only female gynecologist in this area, blah, blah. I said, you know HIPAA doesn't allow her to tell you shit. So we had a massive fight. You're not going to be part of my surgery. You're not going to be part of anything because you don't know how to stay out of it. You don't know how to stay in your own goddamn lane. So as a rebellion, because narcissists can't stand, I didn't know he was narcissist at the time. I knew he was fucked up in the head, but I didn't know he was narcissist. Anyway, I found out. Boy, did I find out. Anyway, and so to punish me for giving him boundaries and basically putting my foot in his ass, he decided, ghosted me after 9 months, ghosted me before surgery and before my birthday, because I had surgery and then a week later was my birthday. That didn't hurt me at all because the clinic that I was a part of, I had, they're not really called caseworkers, but almost. They're like it's hard to describe, but I had him. So all I had to do was call him and say, hey, I need to get a ride from the hospital. Do you think you could do it? And he said, yeah, that's not a problem. And then I took myself out for my birthday because guess what? I take myself out for my birthday every single year. Every single year I take myself out. I know of people who our birthday is around the same time frame in October, and they don't ever say, why don't we share our birthdays together? Or, why don't we spend our birthdays together since we're having in the same month, or whatever the case. No, people are all into me. It's my day, my birthday, me. So I'm not going to insert myself where I'm not wanted, And you know what else? Speaking of that, guess what? The people who are the most fucked up and the people who have the biggest charm, they have the most friends. Did I go there? Yes, I did. The people who are the most charming, people become addicted to the charm and they think that's who that person really is. And I know someone who's a narcissist, and me and him are cool, believe it or not. We're cool with each other. We're never going to be besties, but we're cool with each other. But he's got friends that will break their fucking neck for him any day of the week. And he is one of the most selfish people I've ever met. God knows I've known a lot of those. But I'm cool with him because I know... What the fuck? My fucking phone. God dang it, you son of a bitch. I'm cool with him because I know that I can't rely on him for anything. So if you want charm and you want to sit there and shoot the breeze with this person, you're good. But don't expect him to help you in a crisis, because he's not going to do it. But he is the type of person who has had the same friends for many years, because again, they're addicted to the charm. And they make dinners for him. They make lunch for him. They bend over backwards for him. I am not going to go to narcissist training school, go to college to learn how to be a narcissist in order to have friends. If that's what I have to do, then I guess I'll be friendless. All right? I'll be friendless. Because my best friend's dead and I cannot pull her out of the grave. She's gone and it's a permanent thing and there's nothing I can do about it. So narcissists have people that are there for them for literally years because they're addicted to the charm. They're addicted to the fake concern. They're hooked into it. And they will go above and beyond for this person, even though this person's a narcissist. If that's what I got to become to get friends, I will stay friendless. Okay? I'm not going to turn into that in order to be popular. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of narcissists who don't have anybody. They have to keep humping people because that's the only way someone will stay by their side temporarily. And then they have to find somebody else. They get bored with them and have to find somebody else, and the cycle continues. But yeah, when the wife was concerned about her wife, it just felt strange to me. It felt really weird because I have never in my life experienced that. I know of another gay couple. Maybe it's only gay people that do this. Fuck, I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of gay people where their partner cares. I don't know. I can't explain it, right? I met a gay couple where the guy was in a medical facility of some sort. He was rehabbing because he lost his leg in a motorcycle accident. And his partner met him after he lost his leg. Most people will dump you. Oh, you had a serious crisis and lost your leg? Fuck that. I'm out. His partner met him after he lost his leg. They're still together. He learned how to walk with the prosthesis and the whole bit, you know. They're still together. His partner didn't, you know, like I said, they met. They weren't a couple yet. But he met him in the same facility because I don't remember what the circumstances were, but he met him while he was in the rehab learning how to do whatever, you know, everything all over again, whatever. And he didn't go, oh, you're minus a leg? Yeah, but I'm not signing up for this shit. They're still a couple. So I don't know. I'm seeing, maybe it's just a fluke, right? But I'm seeing it happen a lot where in lesbian relationships and in gay relationships, the partner is still there regardless. You lost your arm, you lost a leg, you broke your back, whatever the case is, their partner is still there, and still there. I can't explain that. I do know of a few couples that are straight that the partner's there, but not many. So again, we have to adapt. Okay, you know how you have a chameleon, right? And they'll change color depending on the environment that they're in. They will adapt and change color so they can blend in. That's what we have to do, ladies. We have to take care of ourselves. If we have to sit in the lobby of the hospital for 2 hours until the medicine wears off because we don't have a ride, that's what the fuck we have to do. They're not going to release you, as I said, for liability purposes. So you may have to sit in a room until, you know, close out your paperwork, sign out AMA, so you're no longer under the hospital care, and you just sit in a room until your medicine wears off and they're letting you drive, give you permission to drive or whatever. But sometimes in life you don't have a choice. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You're not going to pay somebody, a total stranger, to pick you up from a hospital. And it's sad that you didn't even have to consider doing that. Sad. And it's at the point that when I remember it was like last year around Christmas time, people feel closer to other people and they will draw to you and they'll try to get you to go, strangers will try to get you to go to their church or try to get you to hang out with their family. When someone reaches out on the rare occasion that they do, I don't want anything to do with it because I'm not used to that and I don't want it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I never had those problems with Gail because me and her just clicked. We never had these issues, but I don't trust it. I don't trust it. And I don't want you feeling cozier towards me just because it's Christmas. I don't really need that. Go hang with your family. Have a good time with them. That's not my family. That's your family. And I don't want you feeling sorry for me. I've been alone my entire life. I can manage all my Christmases by my damn self. I'm okay with that. Okay? I get up. I take a hot shower. I put on fresh pajamas. I may read. I may play with my phone. I may just do whatever I want to do. I can entertain myself. I know that no one's reliable. I know that people are not capable of caring about anyone but themselves. Some people are lucky. Maybe if I was gay, I'd have a different situation. I don't freaking know. But I've seen multiple gay people where they do love their partner. They do care about their partner. And I don't know. It's just weird. But you have to give yourself the love. People aren't going to give it to you. They're not. They're not. They're not. They're not. You have to be your own best friend. You have to be the type of person to do like me. Take your own self out for your birthday. I had a pattern. I broke in the pattern, but my pattern every year was I would go and buy a corsage because I would wear a corsage with whatever outfit I was wearing that day, okay? I'd buy myself a corsage and I would take myself out to eat, take myself out to dinner. And I would buy myself a Cosmo magazine because Cosmo used to be my favorite magazine until it became inundated with there's more ads than articles. No, I'm not dealing with that. I haven't bought Cosmo in forever because of that reason. But I used to love the hell out of Cosmo. So I take a hot date. I go on a hot date with Cosmo magazine and get my corsage and do my thing like a chicken wing, and I'm good. I don't have to have anybody entertain me, whether it's my birthday, New Year's, Christmas. I don't really need anybody. I have myself. And we have to get to that point, because if you're waiting for someone to sweep you off your feet and treat you with the respect you deserve, you may never get that. And that's just reality for some people. That's just the reality. Some people have never gotten married and never had kids, and they survived it. They're doing fine. They're fine. They have a nice home, they have a nice car, they have a nice job, and they take care of themselves. Now, sometimes people will get a pet. I met plenty of single people that haven't dated since Jesus was little. Please. But they have a pet to keep them company, so they're not completely by themselves. Not everybody is glued to someone. Nor do you want to be. The drama that comes with being with somebody, oh, please. The constant fussing, fighting, pet, pick. No, 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 no. Peace is beautiful, and you should strive for peace. And for some people, the only way you're ever going to get peace is if you stay alone. Because if you get the wrong person in your life, which is a common thread, there's so many jacked up people in the world, you get the wrong person, you're screwed. You won't be alone, but you'll wish you were. So do your own thing. Create your own patterns. Do your own thing, your own agenda. The same thing that you do every Christmas if you're by yourself. Maybe you like to bake cookies. Every Christmas you bake cookies, or every year you make yourself a big dinner and last you the whole week because it's just you. I mean, you can make your own traditions. You don't have to have somebody glued by your side. And in a lot of cases, you don't want that anyway. People are horrible nowadays. I don't know what the hell is going on, but our society's lost their damn minds. So, to preserve your own sanity, you got to be your own best friend. All right? Love you guys. Bye.